Now we're midway through the round.
Out we go. Before you even throw the punches, your stance must be right as far as your pivot. Start off with your pivot, get on your pivot, and it's light. The jab goes like this. This is exactly how the jab go. Jab.
Counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford.
Floyd Mayweather recently stopped by Terence Crawford's training camp to offer some advice on how to take down Canelo Alvarez. During his visit, Mayweather shared some of the same tactics he used to beat Canelo back in 2013. He told Crawford to focus on speed, stay sharp with his defense, and take advantage of counterpunching opportunities to expose Canelo's weak spots. With Mayweather's experience in his corner, Crawford might gain the upper hand as he prepares for one of the biggest fights of his career against a stronger and bigger Alvarez.
You bring the hook with it. You can go to the body. Jab. Just double jab. Triple jab.
At a recent press event, Canelo Alvarez didn't sugarcoat his opinion of Terence Crawford's career. He claimed that Crawford hasn't really faced any elite-level fighters yet. Canelo made it clear that he believes he brings a level of skill and experience that Crawford hasn't dealt with before. But this wasn't just trash talk. It was a calculated move to get inside Crawford's head. Canelo's comments reflect his confidence in his own achievements and serve as a reminder of the experience gap he believes exists between him and Crawford.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since 2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look.
It's gonna be me.
I don't care about
will,
nobody else.
And you will see that.
You. So when I beat you, is you gonna be a nobody? When I stuff a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? Same everybody else been saying since I moved to 147, I ain't fought nobody. Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/box.
Boxing analyst Max Kellerman gave a thoughtful comparison between the two fighters. He praised Crawford's jab, calling it one of the best weapons in boxing today. Kellerman pointed out that while Canelo once had a strong jab too, it's not as sharp as it used to be. In contrast, Crawford's speed and accuracy with the jab now give him a clear edge. Kellerman also stressed that Crawford's smart, strategic thinking could be a major challenge for Canelo, who leans more on his power and size. His breakdown highlights how skill and tactics could outweigh brute force in this match.
Best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy, who had to learn as his career went on to cut off the ring and not just follow guys around. Like Lara, Trout, Floyd, he followed those guys around. He had trouble because he's really a natural counterpuncher who wants you to come to him.
Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, has publicly shown support for Terence Crawford. He praised Crawford's character and talent, both inside and outside the ring. Ali described Crawford as disciplined, focused, and full of potential, qualities that make him worthy of being called one of boxing's best. His support speaks volumes, especially coming from someone tied to such a legendary boxing legacy.
People with Canelo before Canelo's last fight, but then after Canelo's last fight, it seems like it's more 50-50 now. So everything is just the build up for that fight is just going to be absolutely magnetizing. Like that fight, it's garnered so much more buzz after Canelo's last fight, and Bud is Bud. He's one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. He is one of the greatest fighters in boxing history. So it's going to be a fight. It's going to be awesome to watch.
Have you sparred any of them?
I haven't sparred Bud yet. I haven't been in Canelo's camp. I've met Canelo a few times. I love Canelo's team. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters. He's been my favorite fighter for the longest time. But you know, I have to be Team Bud because me and Bud are cool, and I have so much belief in Bud, and I know who he is as a fighter. He is one of the greats. So he could do anything he wants.
And being around both of them and seeing how they work and train and things like that, what makes both of them the fighters they are, in your opinion?
I've watched Bud, so for Bud in particular, he's calm in everything he does, and that kind of calm is scary to watch because it shows experience. You can see that he's been doing this for decades.
Canelo Alvarez has spoken respectfully about Crawford's skills. He said that at the top level of the sport, weight class has become less important because great fighters can adjust. Canelo promised to give everything in training, knowing full well that facing someone like Crawford requires more than just natural power. His comments show that he's not underestimating his opponent and that he's preparing for a fight that will test his full range of abilities.
And why do I need to fight this guy? For you, what changed? Tell me about the moment where you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. This sounds like a good idea.
If you're thinking about it, look how big turns this fight. It's a big fight. No, that's why made me change. But I've been in his situation before, jumping weight classes, and when you're a good fighter, that doesn't matter. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on training very hard because Crawford is a very good fighter.
Yeah, tell me about your experience with that, because now it's reversed. He's coming up in weight. What could be dangerous? What aren't we seeing that maybe you see in this fight?
No, everything. He's a good fighter. Obviously, I know that, and I need to be careful. I need to be careful in everything.
Boxing personality Showbiz the Adult offer a fair take on the upcoming fight. He praised Canelo's physical strength and his intense training, saying those traits are part of why Canelo remains so dominant. But he also pointed out that Crawford's background in wrestling has made him a master of anticipating and countering his opponent's moves. While he still gives Canelo a slight edge due to his size and experience, Showbiz made it clear that Crawford's intelligence in the ring can't be ignored.
Canelo uses his legs, he uses his core, and then his neck itself to lift up Bivol like Bivol was a featherweight. That is a huge representation of how strong Canelo is. When you look at his workouts, you can tell why he was able to do that. All these damn neck exercises that I wouldn't dare do. Okay, that stuff looks painful. The squatting and all that stuff that he's doing is exactly why Canelo Alvarez, honestly, is a strong fighter. He tried to do it again with William Skull. William Skull shook out of it, but he is a bull. Listen, Terence Bud Crawford is strong. He is, okay? And he understands leverage and he understands those things because he wrestled. Honestly, very true. But Saul Canelo Alvarez is also extremely strong. Now, let me know how you feel in the comments below. We're in the zone.
Jarrell Miller shared his personal hope for fight. He wants to see Crawford come out on top. Miller believes that Crawford's hunger and focus might be enough to carry him through, even if Canelo has a physical advantage. He brushed off concerns about size, saying that when a fighter is motivated, size becomes less important. His comments show a belief that determination and drive can make all the difference in high-stakes fights like this one.
Huge fight, September 13th. Who do you think's going to win that?
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people are underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see, though. But I like both guys, but I'm more a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford can take it.
A number of analysts have highlighted just how important Crawford's game plan will be. This isn't just another big match. It's the kind of fight that could define his place in boxing history. Beating a champion like Canelo would silence the doubters and raise Crawford's standing in the sport. To do that, he'll need to rely on smart strategy, stay calm under pressure, and make every move count. His best chance lies in being precise, staying patient, and adjusting to whatever Canelo throws at him.
Understands that he has to be smart. And I think with this one specifically, it ain't just about being smart. He knows he has to look like he's never looked before, because again, if he doesn't and he beats Canelo, everybody's just gonna say, well, that's Crawford, you know? So I think he knows that this is the performance of a lifetime and everything has to look right. He knows in order for it to look right, he can't just go out there and let the dog go. The dog is, you know, you got to work his way up to the dog. Hey, show the clip real quick. I don't know if you showed it already, but this is the dog you're talking about right here, right? And so this is, I pulled this clip right here. I seen it on social media this morning.
Don't do that. That's what I'm saying.
And I pulled this clip, right? But this is Terence.
That's who he is.
He's not gonna swing on Canelo. He already know that part of the game. But what I asked you, were you ever trying to send a message to your opponents? He's letting you know, and it's no act. And that's what I really wanted to show, is that's not an act.
No.
That's not, there's 30 security guards.
I don't know, it feels a little contrived.
You think so?
I think a lot of people feel it's a little like.
Well, I'm glad you used a big word that most of us don't know.
Hey, I don't fight as good as you guys. I had to learn some big words, right, to make up for that.
Don't look it up. Just ignore.
You
what
need big words to get out of fights. You know, you need big words to get out of fights. But you know, okay. So case in point, our guy Hafey, sitting right there, producer extraordinaire. He had a picture of Terence Crawford in New York.
Crawford has made it clear he's going all in. He's not just looking to win, he wants a knockout. Even though Canelo is bigger and stronger, Crawford's past performance at higher weights gives him confidence. He handled himself well at 154 pounds, showing he can compete with bigger fighters. Now, moving up to 168 is a big leap, but based on his skills and past success, there's good reason to believe he can rise to the occasion.
Bud Crawford is taking his undefeated record, putting it on the line, daring to be great, to try and knock off Saul Canelo Alvarez from his throne and go and try to do something that no man has ever done, and that is to be a 3-division undisputed champion. That's a tall task. We know that Canelo Alvarez has fought fighters way bigger than Bud Crawford. It's actually one of the biggest talking points in this fight is the size. Canelo Alvarez has fought guys like Bivol. He's fought guys like Kovalev. He's fought guys like Billy Joe Saunders. He's fought really big fighters who are established at their weight classes all the way up to light heavyweight. And we know that Bud has come from a smaller weight class, being a champion all the way down at the 135-pound division into 140, 147. But as you can see in the tail of the tape, Bud is actually taller. Bud actually has a bigger reach. And quite frankly, he did most recently fight in the 154-pound division. And I don't think he will struggle to make weight to be at 168 and fight as a super middleweight. The question is, though, is bone structure. Who's going to carry that weight more effectively? We know that Canelo Alvarez has been in the weight longer, and as I mentioned, he's fought bigger guys. It's really something amazing for Bud if he's able to pull this off.
Edgar Berlanga shared some encouraging words about Crawford's mindset heading into this challenge. He advised Crawford to stick with what's worked for him rather than trying to overdo things because of the size gap. Berlanga pointed out that moving up 2 weight classes makes the fight more evenly matched than it might seem. His comment highlighted Crawford's courage to test himself at the highest level, regardless of how things turn out.
First of all, he got to go in there and he just got to fight him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go in there. I think Crawford just got to go in there and do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? He got to just be Crawford, you know, show his IQ, show him why he's a 2-time undisputed, you know, world champion, and go in there with confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You know, there's a big weight difference, a big weight jump. You know, that could be a difference in the fight. You know, because obviously, you know, it's like me jumping up to heavyweight. Obviously, I'm a feel the power. I'm a feel that size difference. You know, compared to my other fights. So I just think that he got to go in there and just be himself. And I said, if he loses, you know, we'll just all know that, hey, you know, he just jumped up 2 weight classes to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's not. He can't really. He's testing himself. He's putting himself. Testing himself a great fighter. So, and I don't doubt him. You know, I don't got no doubt in my mind. You know, he's a 2-time undisputed world champion for a reason. So, you know, and I don't think nothing's gonna faze him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the power, maybe the size. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Canelo, he's not knocking Canelo out. So, he just got to go in there just IQ.
Would you lean towards Canelo still in that fight?
I got faith in him. I think Crawford could do it. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do it. Just like I said, just the size. The only shit that throws the fight off is the size and, you know, obviously the power. And Canelo's IQ too, because Canelo got IQ, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo fought a lot much bigger guys, you know? So I know the Crawford's power ain't gonna faze him. I know Crawford's size ain't gonna faze him either, you know what I'm saying? So, but for me, I think it's a 50-50.
Gareth Davies and Duke McKenzie had a spirited discussion about how meaningful this matchup is. In today's boxing world, it's rare to see top fighters actually face each other, so this bout stands out as something special. They said it's exactly the kind of fight fans crave, where legends are made in the ring. They also emphasize Crawford's ability to make smart adjustments during fights, a major reason why so many believe in him. His knack for reading opponents and changing his approach mid-fight could be his biggest weapon against Canelo.
I really like, this is a huge fight that's coming up. I really like Terence Crawford. I think, you know, we were talking about coaches breaking down film. I think that Terence does a good job of that, breaking his opponent down in the fight. I think that he does a good job of adjusting. I do think that, you know, Canelo is a big feat ahead of him, because I also like Canelo. Like, it's kind of one of those things, like, who do I like more that night? It's going to be a really good fight. I like both of them. I think that, you know, that is something that I think women's boxing does a good job of, is putting on fights like that. Like, we'll fight whoever. So I think it's cool to see the men starting to do more of that, like